I'm Michelle Thomas and I'm head teacher at Pembroke Dock Community School. When the new curriculum came in, we took some time to look at the materials. We did a few analysis of the pedagogical principles, the 4 purposes, and looked at elements that we thought perhaps were already strengths in the school and looked at areas that we weren't doing. Then at some point we looked at involving all of our stakeholders to develop our vision at Pembroke Dock Community School. So we invited in the governors and parents, and we asked staff and we asked the pupils.
As a family, we've been involved from the start with the school. They've been very informative, sending us emails or on Facebook page. We were able to fill in surveys as to the topics that we're going to be chosen over the year. And also on Twitter, they're always sending out posts. So we were able to keep up to date with everything that they were doing as a class, not just as a whole school, but individually in classes.
The school have sent out surveys via email through the app. They also invited parents in for an engagement session to hear information about the new curriculum and what it would look like for the children. The school also have changed their sort of star of the week to link with the new curriculum, ambitious, capable learners, and the children were involved by designing the characters. There was a competition within the school to design the characters, which I think really helped them to feel be part of the process and that their thoughts were valued and appreciated. And I think that's the same for the school, asking for parental and family contributions. When you then see some of the things you suggested put into practice, it shows really that they've taken on board what you suggested and embedded it in part of what they do.
Not all of the staff understood completely what an authentic learning experience was. So through introducing some professional learning about authentic learning, we decided that we would do a whole school topic and we would take the staff through the process of planning for the new curriculum. I think if you use off-the-shelf packages that you de-skill your staff, the expertise is in the school. They are the experts and they are the ones who know the children.
Every student, like everyone in each of the years, had a chance to design their own logos for each of the 4 purposes.
Well, each of them have character traits, and they got different meanings behind them and stuff.
Well, the names of them are ambitious, capable Anwen, ethically informed Evie, healthy, confident Harry, and enterprising, creative Connor.
We have been doing these sessions regarding body image because as we get older we start to feel that we're not perfect, but that's okay because we've been looking at videos recognising if the conversation about body talk is offensive or meant to be complimenting someone. So we're trying to ban body talk to make sure that everyone has a healthy mind and a healthy body.
So we work closely with the university providers, and their input has been, I guess, vital really in allowing us to become researchers within schools, because I guess I would say we're not experts, but they have given us the tools to feel confident leading inquiry and leading research within schools.
We met as a cluster back in 2019 and we wanted a way forward as a cluster to deal with behaviour. It was a recommendation from Ysgol Harry Tudor, the secondary school that we feed into, and they wanted support from the primary cluster. And we've done lots of work as a cluster. We've been part of the You Are Awesome project, and a lot of these projects were very much focused on resilience and self-esteem of the individual. And they didn't have the ability to put themselves in other people's shoes and think about the feelings of others. So we came across Empathy Lab, and Empathy Lab came to us in January 2020, and they provided an inset for the cluster. And it really was one of those light bulb moments where we could see the impact that using empathy texts would have on our pupils. And we learnt about the difference between empathy and sympathy, and also how empathy is a learnable skill. Only 10% of our empathic ability is genetic, so we knew that it was something that we could actually teach the children. And we're living in a society which has a huge empathy deficit, and we're trying to encourage children, you know, to be healthy, confident individuals. And we're looking at the new curriculum, and it really fitted into the aims and what we wanted to achieve as a school and also as a cluster.
So soon into our curriculum design for the RSE curriculum, we realised that the empathy texts that the children were reading at the end of the day, or that were forming part of their class libraries, were a way in to tackle some more challenging conversations that maybe we previously hadn't had with the children. The boy in the back of the class, for example, that Year 5 were reading, looked at different relationships and types of relationships. Year 6 were reading the text Ghost, which looked at violence and safety, but also equity and equality. And Year 1 studied a book called The Odd Dog Out, which brought up discussions about identity and gender. So we were using these non-threatening texts, these picture books, these novels, as a way in to open up discussions with children and allowing the children to maybe look at issues that they hadn't considered before and think how they would act and behave if they were in those situations as well. So really opened up discussions, honest discussions with our children.
As a parent governor here on the school governing body, we looked together with the head teacher at the local area and the needs of our community. Now, the governing body is representative of the community partners who work to support the community in Pembroke Dock and in Pembrokeshire. But what we spent time looking at was the needs. We used a website called Street Check, and we looked at what those experiences were for the learners in Pembroke Dock in terms of the employment opportunities, for example, for their families, what sectors their families were working in and how much of the community wasn't working. The diversity of the community in terms of ethnicity, religion, and lots of different things, which really allowed us to see what experiences our children don't have.